Should have happened a long time ago. Should have happened years ago.
Tonight, President Trump trying to further isolate North Korea during a meeting with his cabinet. The president designating the country a state sponsor of terror, which will mean stiffer sanctions. Mr. Trump citing the death of American Otto Warmbier. And
in addition to threatening the world by nuclear devastation, North Korea has repeatedly supported acts of international terrorism, including assassinations on foreign soil.
The move is a reversal of a George W. Bush policy, which lifted the terror designation to foster diplomatic talks over its nuclear program. That effort failed. So will this attempt work, or is it purely a symbolic move?
Practical effects may be limited, but hopefully we're closing off a few loopholes with this.
Also front and center at the cabinet meeting, the president pushing for tax reform.
We're going to give the American people a huge tax cut for Christmas.
At the same time, the White House expressing a willingness to give up one of the president's priorities, a controversial provision in the Senate bill to repeal the Obamacare individual mandate, which could result in millions losing their coverage.
If leaving it in there makes it less likely that that bill passes by Christmas, then we'd be okay with it coming out.
But with a razor-thin majority in the Senate, the president could be imperiling the tax bill by waging wars with his fellow Republicans on Twitter. Can he afford to be fighting with members of his own party?
Well, I think the president's style is the president's style. What's going to sell the tax plan, not only to the people in the country, but the people who are going to vote for it, are the actual merits of the tax plan.
At least 5 Republican senators have expressed skepticism about the tax plan. Republicans can only afford to lose 2 votes in order to pass the legislation. A senior administration official says the president will work the phones to try to win over votes.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.